It's Julie at the Paper Bag Lady 1 again, and I'm back with the next step, if you will, in the process. And actually, I don't really have the next step, because what the next step for me would be is after it's all cut, and I've chosen, I've cut the, I've cut the base, I've cut the mat, and then I've cut the cardstock to mat, the mat. Is that what it is? Anyway, then I would normally just have stacks and stacks of cut albums. Then I go through and I glue them all. So I glue the mat, the 2 layers of the mat, and then I glue it to the base. And in this case, I always leave it, almost always leave it open. Can you see that? I can't see in my camera. I leave it open at the top so I can slide a tag or a shipping tag in there. And then if I'm going to use a mat or a pocket, I cut my pockets as well, and then glue those. Now this one, when I cut it, I had enough paper that I could cut 2 of the exact same album. So as you can see, it's layered on top, so there's just one on top of the other. So I have 2 of the same album, and then that makes it a lot oh my goodness, excuse me, makes it a lot easier when I actually make the albums. When I'm planning embellishments, I can go through and decide what I want, but pull twice as much of that embellishment, so then I can just put 2 albums together. And I know a lot of people don't like to make duplicates of the same album. I have to make so many of them that sometimes that's just the easiest thing to do. I don't have to think as much because I'm not making everything differently, and these are going to different people all over the place, so the chances of 2 people that know each other having the exact same album is slim to none. Therefore, I am very happy to cut multiple of the same album. So here's the whole album laid out. Then I have the covers, and then once it's all glued together, I just sort of stack it like this. So it's in order, it's easy and ready for me to lay out. Whoops. And then I keep them in these bins. So they just go right in here. And then for this one, for example, I have some little bits of leftovers, and then I also went through my stash and pulled some tags that I thought would coordinate with that. Sadly, I only had 1 set, so the second album will not have that. We'll have something different. If I have some sort of digital images that will work, I might do that. So in here is just, and I know my camera angle is not very good, but in here I just have album after album that is cut and ready to go. And then what I have here on the sides is any kind of embellishments I have that I think will work for some of these albums. Like this right here, I actually have an album cut with that paper. This one, I don't have this paper, but I do have an album that is very much kind of a, here, let me pull it out so you can see. It's a little bit of a patriotic kind of look to it. And it's got the reds and the greens and the blues. So as you can see, that would work with that. So I have that pulled out and stuck in here that it could work with this. So right now I have this bin. I have this bin. I have a 3rd bin, and then I actually have a 4th bin right now, and this one is actually all Christmas, of 6x6 cut albums that are glued and ready to go for me to lay out and embellish. So I'm going to put these back over here, and I'm going to cover you up and move the camera around so you can see one that I'm working on right now. Alright, so let's cover you up and turn around. There we go. So there you can see what I'm working on. So this is also a K & Company paper, and this is all laid out. Actually, before I glued these pages down, I actually put some real wide lace behind them. Usually what I'll do is when they're laid out like this, if I want to put lace or ribbons or anything, which actually on this one I think I might. So let me pull out my drawer. I have drawers and drawers of ribbons. So for example, these are all my cream or off-white colored ribbons. So what I might do is go through here and say, okay, let's just find one that I can use real quickly, even if it's not the one I'm going to use. So I would pull out my laces and my ribbons, and I'll say, okay, so, and actually that might work there. So if I were to put that lace there, I would cut the lace and just lay out whatever I wanted, and I think I actually might do some more layers of lace with this. And I would do that before I start laying out the embellishments. However, this time I didn't, but I think I probably will go through and do that. And then I would adhere the lace before I do anything else, or the trim. Sometimes I just leave the lace flat, sometimes I tie it in a knot, sometimes I do two, like in a crisscross. So that would be my next step. Then I decide what kind of embellishments I want. And on this one, as you can see, I decided to use doilies and some coffee dyed flat flowers and buttons. In particular, gold with kind of a pearly kind. So I have those. I have some bigger ones. What I did was got out my buttoned tub, one of my many button tubs. But this one has all different kinds of metal or metal looking buttons. Some of them are just solid, some are silver, some have black and gold. But specifically I was going for the kind of pearl and gold look. So pulled that out, and then I pulled out my bin of doilies. These are my, what I call my small doilies. That's about the biggest size in there. Most of them are smaller. And then I also have my other doilies across the room if I need larger ones. I pulled a couple of larger ones out. And then I just sort of start layering and messing around and trying to decide what I want to do with them. If I want to use some kind of ephemera on this, this is also the point where I probably would lay it all out like this first, and then I'd say, okay. And actually what I was thinking here is that I would like some sort of vintage tickets. So I looked on my digital images and didn't really find anything I liked. So next I would go through my stamps and decide, okay, what kind of ticket stamps do I have that I might use? And to make them look vintage, I might stamp them on coffee dyed paper, that sort of thing. If I don't like that kind of thing, this is one I will go through. Okay, so for example, I have this. I love these jewelry bins, by the way. They are fantastic for storing any numbers of things. And this one has little bits of ephemera in it. So I might go through and say, okay, what do we have here? Well, here we have some milk labels, or some milk bottle caps. That actually might look okay if I was going for that look. I really don't want that with this, but I've got little cigarette coupons. I don't like the red with that on these, so I won't use those. I do have some little, what you call them, cigar labels, which if, again, I don't like the color of it, but if they were the right color, this is the kind of thing that I actually probably would put like that and use them almost like little hinges that you could slide something under. So I just sort of start going through everything I've got and see what I might like. I'm not seeing anything in here right now that kind of strikes my fancy. I will be more likely to stamp and cut out tickets. Sometimes I'll go through a bin like this, which is all labels and tags and stuff like that. For example, okay, so these don't work with this because they're obviously like a, what do you call it, like the airmail looking thing. But, oh, you know what, I might have, wait, let me walk over here. Indeed. Here we go. So here I have plain apothecary labels that don't have anything on them, so that would be very easy to use those on there if I wanted to stamp. I have the small stamp set with tiny words. I could do that. Here, this is the Chemistry Apothecary labels. Some of them, like I wouldn't use the little skulls, but you know, vanilla flavoring elderberry, I could use that sort of thing. Like I said, I didn't really have any digital images which I find shocking because I have so many digital images. Sometimes I'll just take my punch and I would punch little tags or tickets, hang them on there, maybe stamp, if I have a small stamp set with images, could do that. This style of album generally, I would leave this open at the top and put coffee dyed shipping tags in there. However, because of the wide laces and things underneath, I just adhered this straight down. So any kind of journaling spots or anything that I wanted to do would have to be attached somehow. Obviously I wouldn't use this, but it would be smaller, but I could attach it to the side or put it up at the top and use some kind of a small clip, that sort of thing. Another option that might work is this is actually like a not burlap, canvas that I die cut, and I had smaller ones, don't know, here's one. So like that. If I wanted to stamp a sentiment of some sort on there and use that like that, or up at the top, I actually kind of like that, I might do that. I also have some linen, cotton type things, let me find it, that I dyed. Here we go, that I coffee dyed, and that color looks good. So if I wanted to die cut that and stamp on that and use it on there, I could. So this is kind of how my mind works, and sometimes I will try several things before I find the one that I like. Sometimes I will lay an album out and mess with it, and then I'll just put it away and not even do anything with it until I've decided, you know, what to do with it. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and I don't really take the time to see everything that's in my studio, but sometimes I do. This one I know I want to put something else with it. I do think I want to put some lace and ribbons across there, and I think I want some kind of little tag or something. Some of these that don't have a lot of pattern on it, I could very easily stamp something with some type of swirly in the corner, which I might do. So that's kind of where I go from there. After I'm done with that, let me see where I'm at minute-wise. Ooh, 12 minutes. I think I will stop this video, and then I will come back and kind of do the wrap-up on the next bits that I do. So if you have any questions so far, if I'm not covering anything that you'd like me to cover, please let me know. And I can do that, but I'm going to stop this for now, and then I will be back later with part 3.